Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. This is going to be just kind of an update kind of video, but a kind of a new kind of one, not like my other updates where I say a bunch of stuff that's not happening or isn't happening for a while. Some of the stuff I talked about last time is still happening. It's just kind of in a complicated spot right now, and some of it just takes a lot of time. But these updates are just going to be more um, just kind of, I'm going to talk about what video games I've been playing, what books I've been reading, movies and TV shows I've watched. Just kind of go through those things a little more informal, not like a full like review or like video essay or anything like that. I have some of that content coming. So I will start just by talking about what other content I do have coming. But I am going to start doing these kind of little catch ups every couple weeks or so, I think. Because there's something that I can do with pretty much no planning, no scripting or anything. It's just kind of a quick, these are the things I've been enjoying media wise and stuff. Probably talk about music with these too. So yeah, other than these, what I am working on are the Elder Scrolls Retrospective I talked about a while back when I did that last update. That's still in the process right now. I've almost finished scripting the first video. I finished the research a while ago, and now I'm just about done scripting for the first video, which is just going to kind of cover the early days of the Elder Scrolls series. So that's going to be Arena, Daggerfall, and then some of those early spin-off games. Scripting's almost done with that. All I have left to do now is just kind of actually getting some footage from the games and stuff, and then obviously recording and editing. And all of that's going to take a little while still. I don't anticipate it releasing like super soon, but it is in the works, and as I get closer to finishing up that first one, it'll kind of get a little faster as I go along for the other videos in that series, I think. But those are kind of my big project for this channel right now, so those are all going to take quite a while. But the first one's definitely going to take the longest, just because it's the first video I'll ever be doing in that kind of a style, so it'll have to be a lot of me figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and a lot of new editing kinds of things that I'll have to figure out how to do, and just a lot of stuff that's going to be kind of new, which is exciting, but it's time consuming. So I kind of wanted to start doing more of these sort of informal videos in the meantime. My Roller Coaster Tycoon series is not completely abandoned. I'm just kind of taking my time with it. I haven't really had a lot of time for it lately. I should say I haven't really made as much time for it as I should be lately. But I've also been having some computer issues that are now thankfully resolved, but and nothing major, but issues that I was having that were specifically with my computer playing older games, which also kind of put a wrench in the Elder Scrolls series a little bit too with where I'm starting. But I'm still working on that Roller Coaster Tycoon series as well. I'm kind of figuring out exactly how I want to proceed with it. I think what I'm going to be doing is kind of doing entire chunks of the campaign versus how I've been doing it one scenario at a time, just because a lot of those scenarios are not super exciting to watch somebody go through. So I think what I'm going to do is play through them and then kind of talk about the goals and everything of each scenario and just show my completed Tycoon level project for each of them. So that's still happening. I don't have an estimated timeline or anything on that right now, just because it's not really a big priority for me at the moment. Like I said, I'm not completely abandoning it. It's just kind of those videos are going to happen when they happen. I've been starting to do some Twitch streaming again as well on the side. My Twitch username is the same as it is here. It's MeadowBros, so you can look at me there. I will be, after I record this video today, I'll be streaming Redfall tonight, now that that's out. So you can keep an eye out for that as well. I believe I'll probably end up posting at least some of the highlights of that to YouTube as well, but I haven't quite decided yet, and I haven't quite figured out how to do that because my Twitch gets mad at me sometimes when I try to export videos. But all of that aside, now to this video. I'm going to start with talking about what I have been reading. That's something I've always loved to do, but I was out of the habit a lot for a long time, and now I've actually been doing it again. So for this whole video, I am going to be if I actually have a physical thing that I can hold up for it, I will. Otherwise, I'll put a picture of it on the screen. But as far as what I've been reading, first and foremost, the one I have actually finished recently, one that I read back in college but decided to reread. This is Storyteller by Leslie Marmon Silko. It's a very famous poetry and short story collection. She's also interspersed pictures of her family and the area she grew up in. She's a Laguna Pueblo woman, and it's very central to what she's writing about here. It's a lot of her kind of trying to put onto the page something that can be sort of similar to the oral traditions that she somewhat grew up with, but that were largely lost due to colonization and stuff. Really, really, really fantastic piece of work. I would 100% recommend that anybody read Storyteller. And you can find it pretty much anywhere. Like I said, it's a very famous book. I read it first back in college and then decided to reread it. It was kind of part of what helped me start reading again. I can't really explain a lot of it too well. You just kind of have to, it's kind of the thing, you just kind of have to read for yourself. And then we have another poetry book that I am just starting, which is Missing You Metropolis by Gary Jackson. This is one that my roommate recommended to me. It's very good so far. It's a lot of poems about kind of what it's like to be a black man in America, and then alongside his love for comic books. It's very interesting. And then I have been reading The Silmarillion. I've been on a little bit of a Lord of the Rings kick lately. I read The Silmarillion back in the summer between high school and college. So it's been a long time now, but decided to go back and reread it because, like I said, I've been on a little bit of a Lord of the Rings kick the past couple months. Got my roommate to watch the movies for the first time and stuff, and then have been playing some of those games, but fantastic book. Really dense book, but very good. It was edited by Christopher Tolkien, written by J.R.R. Tolkien, and it's just, if you're into world building, it's kind of the Bible for that. If you're not, it might not be the book for you, but I mean, J.R.R. Tolkien really carved a new lane in terms of high fantasy and stuff. He wasn't the only one to do it, but he was obviously the most famous to do it, and he really popularized it, and there's a reason for that. And then finally, I've been rereading Christopher Paolini's Aragon. Just a childhood favorite. I knew it would be an easy, quick reread, so I decided to reread that. I think I am eventually going to do a retrospective on Aragon, and then probably the rest of the series. I don't know if those will be individual videos for each book or one for the whole series yet, but I think I'm not going to talk about that too much because I do want to do a full series eventually. So those are kind of the things that I've been reading. Um, and next, I will talk about what I've been watching. So as far as TV goes, I had been keeping up with the latest season of Drag Race, season 15. It was fantastic. I was really, really, really thrilled that Sasha Colby won. I had been rooting for her the whole time. I really, a lot of love to all the other queens, but I really couldn't see anyone else winning it by the end, so I was really happy with that. I've also been slowly kind of rewatching Futurama and having fun with that. And then I just started rewatching Broad City, watching that with my roommate. That is such a funny, funny show. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. Been rewatching Gilmore Girls. That's kind of a yearly rewatch for me at this point. I'll probably do a video on Gilmore Girls eventually because it's a really interesting work of television and in a lot of ways. So I've been rewatching that, and then my roommate and I have been slowly rewatching through like all of Drag Race, and we just got up to season 9. So that's really exciting. That's one of my favorite seasons. I feel like I'm totally blanking on something, but those are the things I'm thinking of right now as far as TV goes. Movies. I recently saw Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Saw that at the movie theater. That was absolutely a fantastic movie. Just a fun movie. It really understood the spirit of the game and really was able to both stand on its own as a movie while also having a lot of like in jokes and references and stuff for people who have played the games. So that's definitely a movie I would recommend. I think it's supposed to be available for purchase, I think today actually, digitally, for purchase and rental. I don't know when it's going to be on streaming at this point. I'll probably buy the physical copy when those go on release later this month, just because I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like the best movie of all time or anything, but it really didn't need to be. They really understood what that movie needed to be and executed it really well, I think. Other movies I've seen recently, I have recently been watching through all the X-Men movies for the first time in a long time. We just finished The Last Stand, so kind of wrapped up that like early era of those movies. I've also been watching, back to TV shows for a second, watching X-Men Evolution. There's X-Men is definitely just a big thing that I absolutely love, and X-Men movies and TV are definitely things I will do videos of their own for eventually, because there's just so much to be explored there. Trying to think, I know there's other movies I've watched recently. I recently watched Big Fish. That's one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. I just rewatched that recently. I've been watching a lot of various movies and stuff for my podcast, Dumb Bitch Binging, that I do with my friend Tegan. I'll link that down below so you guys can check that out if you want. We talk about a different movie or TV show or something like every week. We have some long-standing series that we're going through season by season, but we do a lot of standalone movies and stuff for that. So if you want to hear me talk a lot about movies, that's the place to go for that. We've been recently watching some Disney Channel movies and stuff, watched the Teen Beach movies, watched the Descendants movies, had a lot of fun with those. I also recently watched the oh my gosh, my brain is totally not working. This is maybe these shouldn't be unscripted entirely, so I can keep myself on track. Oh, I also recently, for the first time, watched Doctor Strange, because I've kind of been working my way through the entire MCU, and so there's a few more that I've watched from the MCU, but that was the only one I hadn't really seen, and I didn't really feel like I had needed to see it. Wasn't thrilled with it. I'll probably eventually do a video on the MCU too, because I have a lot of opinions, many of them probably kind of unpopular, but been working my way through that slowly but surely. And then video games. I have been playing, here's my used GameStop case for it, but I've been playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I'll put like an actual thing on the screen for the artwork for that. Been having fun revisiting that game. Certain aspects of it, mostly the graphics, haven't aged particularly well, but it's still a really fun game. It really holds up well. I think the story is compelling. I think it's fun to play as the different characters and find different team-ups of characters and see kind of how they play off of each other and stuff. So really enjoying that. I've been playing, like I said, been on a Lord of the Rings kick, so I've been playing Lord of the Rings The Third Age. Not super far into it yet, so we'll kind of see what my overall thoughts are as I keep going with it, but it's definitely an interesting game. I'm not really going to go into depth on it. I don't have another video or anything planned for it, but just I'll link below. There's another person on YouTube who did a really good retrospective on all the Lord of the Rings video games recently, and he can put into words much more succinctly than I can why the Third Age is like a really weird, interesting game. I've been playing The Sims 2 and its weird Xbox story mode, and that's been kind of fun. I played through most of what I could of the early access for Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm really, really enjoying that. I can't wait for the actual release so I can play through more than a tiny part of the map and stuff. But it's been good. I've really liked that. I've been playing through, I just finished playing Shadow of Mordor, again, Lord of the Rings kick. I'll be starting Shadow of War, and I'll probably do some of that on Twitch. Maybe do a video on those two Lord of the Rings games eventually, because they're sit in a really weird place where I enjoy the games themselves, but only if I don't think too much about Lord of the Rings while I'm playing it, because they're not very lore friendly at all. I've been playing, I restarted my Animal Crossing island. I'll probably kind of show that off eventually, once I get it to where I get it kind of back to where my old one was and get things where I want them to be and stuff. I restarted because I just really didn't like my layout and a couple of my villagers on my old island and hadn't been playing in a while, so I just decided to restart, and it's been going a lot better so far. I've been playing Dead Cells. That's a really, really fun like roguelite kind of action game. I've been having a lot of fun with that. Recently came out with a Castlevania expansion, and I really enjoy that. I love the Castlevania games. I've been playing a lot of video games. This is probably going to be the longest section of this video. I recently played through Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I will be purchasing Star Wars Jedi Survivor somewhat soon, not immediately. I really, really liked Jedi Fallen Order. I really, really, really liked that game. So I definitely will be getting Jedi Survivor. It's just not in the budget right now necessarily. I have a lot of other expenses coming up and stuff, so it's just gonna wait just a little bit. as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to start Redfall today. I'll put that up on my Twitch channel. I've been working through all the Fable games slowly but surely. I think I mentioned that in my last sort of update video, and I haven't been able to figure out how to transfer what I've been doing with Fable from Twitch to YouTube, even though I think what I was trying to do would work better on YouTube. So I might end up just having to completely restart with that. We'll see. We'll kind of play that one by ear. Because I did want to do kind of an exploration of Fable as a series, and get through all three of those before the new sort of reboot of the series comes out. I think within the next year or so. I've been playing a lot of Gotham Knights, and really enjoying it. I have some criticisms, but overall I think it's just a fun game. I really like being able to play as the 4 different characters. I like the story overall. I really like a lot of the side missions with some of the villains and stuff. That's also one that I play on Twitch somewhat regularly. I don't think that's one that really merits its own video, at least not at this point in time, but it's a fun game. I think that's kind of the main stuff. I know that's a lot. I also started playing just for fun, playing golf with your friends with my roommate, and we're having a blast with that. I just think the level designs are really smart. It's surprisingly difficult at times. If you like mini golf, it's just a fun, stupid game. And then as far as music goes, I listened to a couple albums recently. I listened to the new Fall Out Boy album. So Much for Stardust, and really, really, really liked it. I don't know what the overall consensus has been on it. I've kind of stayed away from it. I don't always tend to agree with everyone else in terms of Fall Out Boy. Not in that I think a lot of people, I like a lot of the albums that a lot of the fans like, but I also really enjoy some of the albums that the fans don't necessarily like. My favorite Fall Out Boy album is probably American Beauty, American Psycho, and I know that's an unpopular opinion, and I enjoyed Mania. I don't think it's the best or anything, but I enjoyed it, and I know that's also an unpopular opinion. But So Much for Stardust definitely felt like a return to more classic Fall Out Boy, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's one that that's just gonna grow on me more and more over time. It definitely has potential to end up being my favorite Fall Out Boy album. I might do a full review of some of these albums eventually, because music reviews are something that I enjoy doing, that we used to do a lot on my roommate and I's podcast, Breezy Banter, that we don't do music as much anymore. We still do sometimes, but not as much. So I might start bringing some album reviews to YouTube as well. We'll kind of see. Let me know in the comments below what you guys, like, if that's something you guys would want to see. And same goes for like book reviews, game reviews, movie reviews, etc. Definitely things I've toyed with bringing to YouTube, and that I'm definitely open to, and would sometimes be really fun, easy things to do with guest videos and stuff too. So let me know if you guys want to see that. But anyways, I also listened to the new Paramore album, This Is Why. I liked that album a lot too. I don't think it's going to be my favorite Paramore album by any means, because I didn't think it was quite as good as Paramore or After Laughter for me. I liked it a lot, but I really like both the album Paramore and After Laughter. Excuse me, sorry. And I also really liked Hayley Williams' solo albums a lot. And I did kind of like that This Is Why kind of felt like it bridged the sound of the band with the sound of her solo work, and that was kind of fun, and I enjoyed that. And then I listened to the new SZA album, SOS, as I know pretty much everybody did. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, as I know pretty much everybody did. And those are all the kind of big ones. I haven't been very caught up with new music lately, so if music stuff is something you guys do want to see more, and if you have any suggestions, leave those in the comments below, because I'm kind of behind, and I usually keep up with pop a lot, and then just certain bigger artists. I mean, I have a pretty wide range of music tastes. The only things I don't super listen to is like metal and country. There's exceptions to both of those rules, especially in terms of country. I like a lot of older country music, and recently I've liked Orville Peck a lot. He's one of my favorite artists. I've liked Casey Musgraves. I liked the Chicks album from a couple years ago, so there are exceptions to those rules. But if you guys have any suggestions as far as music goes, if that's something you want to see, put those down below too, and I can potentially work on some album reviews for you guys or something. But that's kind of all for this video for now. Keep an eye out for probably a few more focused videos coming soon. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm still kind of figuring out specifically what video ideas I want to go with. And then keep an eye out for, I'm hoping to get the first Elder Scrolls video out in July. That is a very tentative timeline, very subject to change, but it's my goal for the time being. So as far as very large videos, that's going to be the biggest thing I've done so far, and I'm aiming for a July release date. I should be able to get footage finished up over the next couple weeks, and then I'll actually have to record the videos and do a lot of editing. But I'm hoping the July, like mid-July time frame, give me about 2.5 months. I think I can get that done. All that being said, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever, if you feel like it. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these kind of informal little catch-up videos every couple weeks or so. I got a new job that has a much more consistent schedule, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to set aside time for YouTube and Twitch and stuff. So keep an eye out for hopefully a more regular output. Just yell at me if it's not a more regular output. It just means I'm procrastinating or getting distracted. So all that being said, thank you. Have a good day.